The future of healthcare innovation begins with powerful conversations. JV EdTech Medivation, in collaboration with Power of Knowing Forum, proudly announces a healthcare podcast series focused on the future of healthcare innovation. This next-generation podcast series explores hospital systems, medical technology, AI in healthcare, and innovation, bringing together experience, expertise, and meaningful dialogue. The series delivers real-world, actionable insights from global healthcare leaders, moving beyond theory toward practical implementation and impact. Beyond theory, this podcast series focuses on real impact by bringing actionable insights from global healthcare leaders, doctors, and technology innovators. The conversations cover key areas such as AI in healthcare, telemedicine, smart hospitals, and emerging medical technologies that are shaping the future of healthcare systems worldwide. Medical schools, healthcare institutions, students, faculty, doctors, and healthcare professionals from India and across the world are invited to be part of this journey. Backed by Power of Knowing Forum's 300-plus episode legacy and aligned with global standards, the series offers structured, easy-to-understand learning for both executives and learners. Our shared vision: make healthcare knowledge accessible, innovative, and impactful. Encourage global collaboration in healthcare education and technology. Empower the next generation to listen.
A very good evening to one and all. Thank you so much. Today, with the JVA Tech Innovation and a Power of Knowing You Forum, a collaborative healthcare podcast series, MedTech Insight, Episode 6, I am Dr. Jyoti Dongre Rao, your host. Today, I'll be presenting one of the very important topic where starting small, scaling smart, building up a big dreams in the healthcare system. Today, it's my privilege to invite Dr. Shishir Patel, who is a result-driven professional with more than 14 years experience in critical care, general medicines, diabetes, and the non-invasive cardiology and the rheumatology. He has worked in KM Hospital, Mumbai as assistant professor in general medicines and rheumatology. He also has worked at SBAKS Medical College, Baroda, and associate professor intensivist as well. He also worked in Holy Family Hospital, Bombay, even Ruby Hall Clinic, Pune. There are many accolades in the name of Dr. Shishir Patel, where he has been facilitated with the critical care, general medicines, diabetes, non-invasive cardiology, and the rheumatology experience. He has been a pioneer in highlighting the number of areas of the scientific committee. He has been a consultant physician and the director of the Patel Hospital at the Vadodara since 2013. He has written many books on the diet along with many international dietitians since 2020. He also has been a senior consultant and physician till today. We are very happy and welcome to Dr. Shishir Patel for this today's podcast, where it is something very important to start with, starting small, scaling smart, and building big dreams in healthcare. We welcome you, Dr. Shishir Patel. Thank you so much.
Thank you and namaste to everyone. Thank you, Dr. Jyoti, for giving me this opportunity to talk on a very interesting topic, which all Indian doctors want to know for the better Indian healthcare future. Thank you once again.
Absolutely, very well said, Dr. Shishir. Scaling healthcare businesses sustainably. Scaling healthcare ventures, innovation, ethics, technology, and the sustainable growth, which matters a lot. Today, let me start. A very first question. In a highly regulated healthcare ecosystem, how can a founder balance rapid innovations with compliance, patient safety, and ethical responsibility? Over to you, Dr. Shishir. Thank you.
Yeah, it is a very important question in today's scenario. Actually, when today in today's healthcare market, where innovations has been promoted just to increase the cost, so we have to understand first the innovation versus the pseudo innovations. So, in medical practice, patient safety, compliance, and the ethical responsibility, these are much above the innovations. But yes, innovation has its own importance. So medicine is not the data processing. So innovation only cannot improve the healthcare. So What is medicine? Medicine actually involves the clinical judgment, human emotions, decision making, and the trust between the doctors and the patient. So only innovation cannot improve the everything. So what real innovation should be there? Real innovation should be there. Technology should be there to improve the patient journey from booking the appointment to till he goes to the home. Second, once he reaches to the emergency in the hospital till he gets the discharge. So everything comes under that domain. So innovation should be there to improve the quality of care, not just to increase the cost. So future will be not to replace the doctors by innovation or AI. No AI can replace the expert doctors, but future will be the doctor plus technology, not the doctor versus technology. So as of now, we all are seeing that doctor will be replaced by the AI. So it is not possible. Expert doctor will never be replaced by AI. AI is there to assist the doctor to improve the quality of care, improve the diagnostic, improve the patient journey. So, innovation without patient safety, without ethics, without compliances has no meaning. So, always we have to balance that innovation with the ethics, compliances, and the patient safety.
Absolutely, very well mentioned. Because at the end of the day, in healthcare, scaling responsibility, it's not a slower growth, but it is a smarter growth as well. Where they have to understand that trust is the most valuable currency in healthcare, and the companies that prioritize ethics and safety, as you mentioned, that AI also become one of the important segment as in health tech industry just to initiate with. Let me move on to the second question. Like, what are the biggest operational mistakes healthcare startup make when scaling from a single facility to a multi-location healthcare network?
See, as of now, when we are talking about the operational mistakes, there are two parts of operations in any healthcare, whether it is a big, small, or medium size. One is a clinical operational, and one is a non-clinical operations. Believe me, most of the hospitals only focuses on the non-clinical administrations and operational SOPs. So, who are the successful? The hospitals who have focused on clinical administrations and operations just to provide a better outcomes, better services, better staff services. So before scaling from a single unit to the bigger unit, your clinical and the non-clinical SOPs should be clear. You must have a confidence to replicate that to the another centers. And once you have confidence that in first hospital, your clinical and the non-clinical administrative SOPs are clearly thorough enough, you can replicate it to the another centers. Along with that, you have a good leadership team to scale it easily. So start with the one or two pilot projects. See whether you can replicate that clinical and non-clinical both operational things easily or not, and then you can scale easily. Otherwise, what majority leaders in the healthcare does mistakes is they just form SOPs for the non-clinical administrations. They just hire employees, doctor employee or the staff employee, and believe me, it is the main factor. If you can't replicate that quality care, which brings the trust, which develop the trust between doctor and hospital, patient and hospital, and the patient and the doctor. It is the clinical administrative part. So clinical administrative part go hand by hand with the non-clinical clinical administrative, and once you can easily replicate that in one or two centers, then only you should scale. So in our journey, after running my first hospital for 8 years, we were clear enough in clinical and the non-clinical administrative parts. So we did one pilot project, and yes, after that pilot project, we were very clear and we were easily can replicate that same care, quality care across the one hospital. So after that, we have scaled to 4 hospital within only 2 years. So that can be done. But yes, until and unless you have a good command on both the things, till that you should not uh, think of scaling the hospitals.
I absolutely echo because many startup fails to preserve organizational culture during the scaling up itself. Healthcare delivery definitely depend upon heavily on empathy, accountability, and service quality. So, as you mentioned correctly, when it comes to the successful healthcare scaling up, is less about opening more facilities, but more about building up the responsible and the very good system, which can really help and build up the consistency as well. Thank you so much, Dr. Shishir. Moving on to the third segment, how can a healthcare entrepreneur build sustainable businesses model while still ensuring affordability and accessibility for patients? I think this is going to be one of the major feedback for us. Yeah.
So before talking on the sustainable business, I think I should first address the affordability in healthcare. Actually, whenever we are talking about the affordability in healthcare, believe me, small and the medium-sized hospitals are more affordable than the larger hospitals in India. But because of many over-compliance burden, and second thing, the small hospitals are majorly been driven by the individual doctors who don't know healthcare business properly. Because of that, these hospitals are lagging behind the bigger hospitals. And if we are comparing with the Kerala, in last few years, thousands of small hospital has been closed down in the Kerala. So if the uh, same thing will happen across the other states also, where the middle class will go? This is the biggest question with us because we have 60 to 70% middle class in India. They don't want to go to government hospital. They cannot afford the bigger hospital. So I think to keep Indian healthcare affordable, we have to sustain the small and medium-sized hospitals. And believe me, no all bigger hospitals are safe, and no all smaller hospitals are unsafe. We have to uh, make the quality healthcare services across, keep the maintain that quality healthcare services across the all the hospitals. And accreditation doesn't guarantee you the safety, because once you get the accreditation with the anybody, they don't come to visualize your hospital that whether you are following or not. So it's our responsibility as a healthcare leaders to maintain that quality across the hospitals, small hospitals, medium-sized hospital, and the large hospitals. There is the need of all hospitals in India. We cannot keep maintain that affordability by closing down the small hospitals. So I think to keep or maintain that small and medium-sized hospital and maintaining the affordability across the hospitals, doctors, pharma, equipment manufacturers, insurance companies, and government all have to sit together on the one table and think a patient in the center to make it affordable. And we cannot, doctor only cannot make the healthcare affordable. He is the only one part of that system. Indian citizens has to understand that doctor लूटते हैं ऐसा बोल के they cannot get the affordable services. They should understand he is just a part of that healthcare. And until and unless government forms some regulation, rules, regulation better for the small and medium-sized healthcare to sustain, to grow, and to maintain their quality across the small and medium-sized hospital, till that we cannot make or keep the small and medium-sized hospitals affordable. At the same time, we have to reduce the medicine prices, equipment prices, all the things together in the small hospitals. So I think for affordability, these all sectors has to work together. And for sustainability, I will focus more on the small and the medium-sized hospitals that has been driven by the majority by the healthcare providers, especially doctors. So doctors has to learn healthcare business And if possible, Indian medical education system must incorporate healthcare business right from the education system to the each and every doctors. Only then we can improve the healthcare services, sustain the small and medium-sized hospitals, and obviously large hospitals have their importance. And also Indian citizens has to understand that when we have to go to the small hospital and when we have to go to the larger hospital. Simple typhoid fever can be treated in hardly 30-35,000 in tier 2 cities, maybe within 50-40-50,000 in a tier 1 city, and same typhoid fever will be treated within 2.5 lakhs to 3 lakhs in a bigger hospital. So it is a collective loss of insurance company also. So they also have to understand that for the small problems they can avail good services at the small hospitals, and when patient needs bigger hospitals for the complex things, complex surgery, high risk problems, then only they should go to the bigger hospitals. So like that we can make the healthcare affordable. And for sustainability, doctor has to understand the healthcare business properly, then only he can sustain the healthcare business. And believe me, for sustainable healthcare, I will talk only one point, that is a trust between the patient and hospital, patient and the doctor. Those who have earned the trust in the society, they don't have to do any marketing, anything else. Their healthcare business grows exponentially without anything.
Very well mentioned. A sustainable healthcare models require financial discipline. Expansion should be data driven, not ego driven. Founders must continuously measure unit economics, patient acquisition tools, and the operational margins, and of course, the treatment outcome. However, the ultimate goal is to create the healthcare system where affordability, accessibility, and the profitability coexist through the efficiency, trust, and innovation. Very well mentioned, Dr. Shishit. So, moving on to the fourth segment, what role technology and AI plays in scaling up healthcare institution without compromising the human touch in patient care.
AI can significantly improve the healthcare by improving first the diagnosis of the doctor. Over a period of time, yes, medical education is going down and down. So quality doctors are reducing in India. So improving the diagnosis, we can use AI. Second, for the patient experiences, for the booking appointments, then patient experience throughout the hospital, then reducing the errors during the nursing care, reduce alerts like whenever some patient is admitted in the hospitals, if his vitals are slightly altered, so that alerts can be properly immediately informed to the nursing staff, and that can be escalated. So by technology we can improve the diagnosis, we can improve the patient care, we can reduce the errors during the treatment and hospitalization, we can identify the red uh, 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 early red marks like altered vitals and all these things. So we should not wait till the patient becomes more serious. So I think health tech with the human touch can do the magics in the healthcare. But yes, that healthcare should be there to improve the patient care and improve the quality, not just to increase the cost of the health.
Yes, absolutely. Because another important factors when it comes to the ethical AI implementation or the healthcare organization, they must ensure the transparency, bias reduction, as well as the patient consent and the data privacy. I'm sure technology also help to maintain the quality during the scaling up the businesses. And obviously, there's a centralized dashboard, there's a digital audits required, and AI-driven quality also will help and allow the organization to maintain the standard across the multiple facilities. Now, moving to a very important question, how do you identify the right time to scale in healthcare considering infrastructure, workforce, and financial readiness?
Actually, when to scale, uh, first thing, whenever your clinical and the non-clinical SOPs are completely perfectly written. First thing, you have a confidence to replicate across the other hospitals. First thing. Second, you have a leadership team which can scale or replicate that things to the other hospitals. Third thing, financially, if we can see, uh, if we want to scale to the same unit, same size unit, or to the bigger unit, so whatever the operating cost is there of that hospital, it's at least 2 to 3 times you must earn monthly initially. Second thing, if you have liquid cash with you to invest the capex, that will be good enough. Or if bank can give you it easily, and that EMI and the operating cost, whatever the sum comes, it's 2 to 3 times you are earning monthly. Only then you scale. Otherwise, Mungeri Lal ke sapne, I am running my hospital. Just you have reached to the break even. Even you are not reached. Even you are not earned 2 to 3 times of your investment amount, and you are just thinking that I will replicate. So believe me, it is a disaster in healthcare. Healthcare doesn't work like other industries, like manufacturing industry. It is a service industry. So we have to understand service, we have to understand highest level of service, and yes, along with that, financially we must be strong enough to sustain that new hospital at least for 2 to 3 years. Only then you should scale. Otherwise, most of the time it is a financial disaster. And along with that, you must have a good leadership team. Believe me, good leadership team, because otherwise, most of the times, what other doctors thinks that I will keep some MBA and he will run the hospital. It doesn't happen. You must have a strong leadership team at the upper end. Under that, you can keep some other professionals. Then only you can easily scale. Otherwise, chances of failure will increase.
You're very well mentioned, Doctor, because market readiness also does matter. Expansion should be based on validated format, referral network, demographic analysis, and the competitive positioning also. Importantly, as you mentioned about the founders, they should avoid the emotional scaling. Expansion should not happen simply because competitors are growing or investors are pushing aggressively. And the best time to scale up when the organization has already transformed from founder dependent operation into the system dependent system driven institution. So very well mentioned. Now let's talk about the leadership qualities. So according to you, what are the leadership qualities are most critical when transitioning from the small healthcare setup to a large scale healthcare organization?
See, whenever we talk about the healthcare leadership, first and most important thing is your vision. Why you want to work in healthcare? You must be passionate enough for the patient and only patient. If you keep patient in the center, then only you can become successful in the healthcare. Second, team building quality. You must work in a team, because the most uh, biggest mistake in a doctor's life is I am the best. I will work only one. Like that Bajia wala, everything will be done by me only. Then you cannot scale. Then you cannot become a leader. So team building quality should be there, and delegation quality. You must delegate works to the your team, and ethical decision making even in the difficult situation. These are the most important things in healthcare that will develop the trust and improve the patient outcomes. Then only you can be a leader versus dealer in the healthcare. I always write on the LinkedIn about the dealers and the leaders. This is a difference. अ, जैसे हमारे इंडिया में बोला जाता है कि यू शुड वर्शिप नारायण जी, लक्ष्मी जी ऑटोमेटिकली आएंगे, बट मेजोरिटी वर्क्स इन a reverse fashion, so they fail in the health. So you should learn the management in healthcare, and these are the main qualities. My example I will give you. I was also the same thinking till 7 to 8 years of my life. No one can work like Dr. Shishir. Dr. Shishir is the only best doctor. No other can perform like Dr. Shishir. So this is the common story of each and every expert doctor. But when I work with the different professionals, And one of my mentor, who is Nayan Bhai, who was telling me since long time that Dr. Shishir, you can create your assistants. But I was always telling, after creating assistant, they cannot work like Dr. Shishir. My patient may feel unsafe in their hands. But actually, when he promoted me, he inspired me. When I created my first assistant, I have delegated work. I have trained him. I have made the everything SOPs and all clinical SOPs clear. And yes, 70-80% once you delegate, 20-30% work you keep with us, you can deliver same quality. Otherwise, single-handed, it is impossible to scale. So that we have to understand that along with the team building, we have to delegate our works to the our team also. We have to trust them. We have to nurture them. We have to train them. It is with for all nursing staffs also and your assistant doctors also.
Okay, absolutely understand. Absolutely understand. That is something is very, very important. Like when it comes to the communication, as you mentioned very well, the ethical leadership is mentioned really well. The deeply healthcare, which where the team follows a major part, and it really helps us to build up the amazing transition. So moving on to the other aspects when it comes to the transition from the small clinic to the large healthcare organization, which require a founder centric management, but that again institution build-up should be there. So, how can a hospital and a healthcare startup effectively attract and retain skilled medical professional in a competitive market?
It is a very important question in today's scenario because founder driven to the institution driven. Uh, Individually, as a doctor, he can scale to the one hospital, two hospitals. But when we want to scale to the multiple centers, we need a good team. And when we are talking about the affordable healthcare, believe me, uh, retaining a highest skilled professional itself increases the cost of small and medium sized hospitals. So doesn't remain affordable. But under the name of Medspire, we always suggest to the all entrepreneur doctors who are running their individual hospitals what they can do in a area, in a single area. Let's see, I am working in the Bothri area of the Vadodara. All different specialties and the super specialty doctors, approximate 15 to 25 different specialties, super specialty as there. Whatever the available is there in your area, different hospital, you can collaborate with each other. Rather than competing, you should complement each other. And when 15 to 25 hospitals collaborate, they can retain a highly skilled professional. Let's see, one they can keep one CEO, they can keep one operation manager, HR manager, and the staff training manager, and the housekeeping supervisor, which is lacking in the small and the medium sized hospitals. But when they will retain with us, along with the hospital's growth, they should feel that they are also growing with us. They doesn't feel that they are employees with us, and their future is secured and their retirement is also secured. Then only they will retain with us. This is the important thing. And second thing, with this 15 to 25 hospital, they are very small units. So they don't need a daily visit of any CEO or an operation manager. Even weekly once or twice visit is enough for such hospitals to grow. And with this collaborative network, the expense per hospital reduces drastically, and even that skilled profession earns more than the bigger hospital. So my suggestion to the small and medium sized hospital is to keep highly skilled professionals with them, and rather than keeping them as an employee, make them a working partner, grow themselves them with yourself also. So you will also go because you don't know the healthcare business, they knows business better, but you knows the clinical administrator station better. So your burnout issue will be solved and you will scale easily, you can grow easily.
Very well mentioned. The retention ultimately comes down to the respect, professional growth, operational support, and the purpose-driven culture. Very well mentioned, Doctor. Because we both are talking about the tier 2 and tier 3 expansion where the local talent development becomes the critical. Organization should also invest in partnership and the medical colleges and of course the other nursing institutes and the training academics where it can become the best version, best segment to work together as a collaborative approach with the speciality and the multi speciality also. Now, moving to your expertise, as you mentioned that you are the alma mater of the KM, and you've been there, Mumbai, one of the great place to work and experience. In your experience, what are the most underestimated challenges in a healthcare expansion, especially in tier 2 and tier 3 cities? And you feel, you must have learned from that and you got some insights to talk about. Thank you.
Yes. I have worked in tier 1 cities like Mumbai and the Pune, Ruby Hall and the KM, and Holy Family. Once I came to the tier 2 cities, now if we compare to the tier 1 and the tier 2 cities are also more comparable to the tier 1. They are almost alike to the tier 1. No major difference in the tier 2. But tier 3 cities and the peripheries in the India, like villages and the small towns, they are drastically different compared to the tier 2 and the tier 1 cities. So I will more focus address this question on the tier 3 and the peripheries. So in tier 3 cities, what are the major challenges? First thing, quality professionals are not there, including doctors, nursing staff. Insurance penetration is very low. Healthcare awareness is very low, and spending mentality in the healthcare is very poor in that area. So they need healthcare awareness also. We have created our four hospitals in the Vadodara's periphery. So during that journey, what we understood is we have to start with the very affordable models. Second thing, volume game is there. In tier 3 cities, whenever you start your practice, yes, volume will be there. But along with that volume, how you can maintain the quality, that is more important. Because most of the time they have their mindset that if something is serious, so we have to rush to the bigger hospitals or the bigger cities. When they will return with us, if we gain their trust there, if they think that yes, this is a good hospital, this hospital has a good staff, good doctors, we are getting a good outcomes along with the affordable care. In Vadodara, we are charging 500 to 800 consulting charges, but in periphery, we have started with the 100 rupees consult. Then only we were successful. Otherwise, in periphery, it is very difficult to cater and successfully run the hospitals. Yes, but 60 to 70% population of India is present in the tier 3 and the villages. So it will be the game changer. And as of now, bigger hospitals have not still penetrated into the tier 3 cities. So it is the biggest opportunity. So as of now, as the number of doctors are increasing, same from the collaboration model, if they can visit to the periphery into their own hospitals at least 1 hour daily or 2 hours daily, still they can provide a good service and they can earn like anything from the periphery. So I think tier 3 cities, before starting hospitals in the tier 3 cities, we have to understand the behavior pattern and the psychology of the tier 3 cities and the periphery peoples, because it is totally a different ball of game compared to the tier 1 and the tier 2 cities.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely understand. During the community health posting days, okay, where we still remember 20 years before, then we used to practice and we used to conduct the deliveries at home. Okay, we have no options. Okay, and till I'm still Doctor, you will also agree that till now, also when it comes to the rural periphery areas where people are not been aware, and there are a lot more issues they are facing up, and still we are not reached the optimum level. And of course, as you mentioned, the healthcare expansion in emerging cities is not simply replication exercise, but it required the localized innovation, correctly mentioned. Yeah. So how can a healthcare organization leverage the partnership and the collaborations where ecosystem network to accelerate this smart growth? Have you ever come across with such models or what are your feedback on this?
Actually, under the name of MedSpar, its blueprint is ready. Pilot project I will start shortly within 1 or 2 months. I will just disclose the highlights of that model. Uh, same thing what I have initially told, that collaboratively uh, different specialties and super specialties. Let's see, medicine, one doctor is of medicine, surgery, ortho, uro, gynae, all different specialties, super specialties, all diagnostics like laboratory and the radiology. They can collaborate, they can complement each other. uh, how it how it will benefit to the doctors. If I am knowing to the 100 families, so 25 doctors, they will know 2500 families. So automatically with the cross referrals, they can benefit more to the society. Second thing, they can give more benefits to their loyal customers who are coming regularly to that network. Even they can improve their digital presence collaboratively through a single digital website or the digital platforms, that these are the hospitals in the area which are collaboratively providing all the services to this area. And what the Medspire will do, Medspire will make these all hospitals affordable and the transparent. Already they are ethical, they are affordable. We will also make them, try to make them world class also by improving the cleanliness and all these things. So when that doctor will work collaboratively, they can do common purchase like medicine, common equipment purchase. So collaboratively they can earn more with the patient's cross referrals, with the common purchases. They can keep executive officer, operation manager, HR, supply, and the housekeeping manager. So by that they will improve their healthcare business, and they can make their hospitals more world class and the safer environment. So like that, I think in Indian healthcare, rather than working individually, they should collaborate. And second thing, the major healthcare business earnings are from the operation theaters and the ICUs. So what doctors are doing, they are just referring patients, they are referring patients. So they have to understand, when they are working in the collaboration with a just small investment, 5 to 10 lakhs per doctor, they can create their own collaborative ICUs and OTs. uh, let's say 10 bed ICU, few dialysis beds, and two major OTs, just for the high risk operation theater, high risk ICU patients, and they can create a lavish suite, 4 5 suite rooms to cater the rich class patients. So they can stop referring patients, and due to stopping that patient's referral and admitting that patients into the own hospitals, they will earn more, they will earn trust from the patients more. Because many times what happens, we send patients to the larger hospitals, but we are helpless there to provide that level of personalized care. So here, with the personalized care, with the affordability, doctors can earn more and stop their referrals to the bigger hospitals. So I think in Indian healthcare, this will be the game changer. Collaborative models that can be practiced, and if all these doctors agrees, they knows each other, they work together for a years of practice, they can merge themselves into a bigger hospital as a group practice also.
Yeah, absolutely. As you mentioned, the partnership should align strategically with an organizational value and the patient's care standard. Poorly aligned collaborations can damage the brand trust. The future healthcare growth is not only it should be a collaborative approach, but even it should be a data-driven, ecosystem-oriented rather than the institutionally isolated. Yeah, very well mentioned. Moving on to the financial strategies. So, according to you, what financial strategies or the investment approaches are essential for scaling healthcare ventures without over exceeding resources?
Actually, I have addressed this question initially also. For the strategies, financial strategies, and the investments, whenever we want to scale to the bigger hospitals, so we must have 2 to 3 times of the operating cost earnings per month. Then only you should scale. Bank should, if bank can give you easily loan, that will be always best rather than going with the investors. Because yes, many times with the investments we overestimate our potential, and we start with the bigger hospitals, and then yes, we'll end up into that financial crisis, and most of the time we may have to do unethical practices to generate return on investment. So I think this should not happen. And for the financial strategies, I repeatedly told that doctor has to understand the healthcare business. They have to understand average revenue per occupied bed, ALOS, average revenue per OPD patients, and from where the patients are coming, so how many patients are coming from the digital presence, how many coming from the doctor network, how many coming from the direct. So all the financial ratios they have to maintain, revenue they have to understand, how much profit we are really doing. Otherwise, many times I saw my friends that I am generating this much revenue, but when we are seeing the profits, there are n number of leakages. So these things have to be understood before scaling. So financial stability, and for investments, I always prefer that bank loans will be much better than the investments. And many doctors made mistakes that after taking investments for someone, they invite that management to run that hospitals. And believe me, non-medical investors can't run the hospitals because they don't have any emotions toward the patient. They have just emotions toward the return on investments.
I think you really bang on. The asset light models can improve the scalability, but of course, there are areas where telemedicine, diagnostic partnership, managed services, and the hub spoke model definitely can reduce the capital burden. As you mentioned very well, a very strong point when it comes to the investor alignment is another overlooked healthcare. However, it requires a very great capital, operational trust, and it require an understanding. If it is from Medico, that really makes sense with the brand equity, which can take its time to build up. So data driven forecasting is also essential for this. However, moving to the trust, okay, patient trust, as you are.
One point I want to add
Yes,
one.
yes.
Uh, Sustainable growth is always better than uncontrolled growth.
Wow. Wow, that's really bang on, really bang on.
Every doctor has to understand before scaling.
Yeah, absolutely. Because as you mentioned correctly, Dr. Shishir, the strongest healthcare businesses scale through operational efficiency and sustainable economics, not only through the aggressive fundraising. Absolutely. So, moving to how important is the patient trust and brand reputation in healthcare scaling, and how organization maintain it during the rapid growth. You already talked about the patient safety, patient trust, but I would like you to add on more. Thank you.
I will address your second point first, rapid growth. Believe me, rapid growth is the disaster in healthcare. Must be a strategically planned growth rather than a rapid growth, because most of the time during this rapid growth only we damage our trust factor and the brand reputation. So I think while scaling or while working in the healthcare, brand reputation and the trust, these two factors are the above everything. Believe me, these are the main pillars of your healthcare. If you damage your reputation or the trust, either it is a doctor patient trust or the brand reputation, yes, your downgrowth has already been started. So many of my friends we have saw over the decades, they have started totally a malpractice, and only within a decade they have saw the downfall. So always, if you remember the older doctors word, डॉक्टर्स व्हाइट कोट वाले होते हैं और उनके शर्ट्स पे कभी दाग नहीं गिरने देते, बिकॉज अ सिंगल mismanagement or the single medical legal case or the untrust between doctor and the patient can damage your reputation. So it is the most important thing while scaling, starting, and during your initial period also. So individual doctor always work for that two things only, trust and the brand reputation, and it is a very much importance.
Yes, absolutely. And you really nailed it. So, moving to the innovation. So, what innovations or a trend do you believe it will redefine the future of scalable healthcare delivery in the next decades? As you know, how we are leading and what we are going through the medical colleges too. Yeah.
Yeah. Already, I have told one innovation. It is a collaborative model while working in the diversity, separately working also. Uh, I think the most important thing in Indian healthcare in future will be group practices. Believe me, Mayo and the Cleverland, these are the one of the best group practice models, which are almost 100 years older. We must get inspiration from that, and we can replicate that models in India. So rather than starting with the single specialty, doctors should start with the group practices, especially medicine, surgery, ortho, uro, gynec, and pediatrician. So these six specialty are the primary care driven. So they can start a small hospital, maybe 25, 30 bed with these five, six specialties. So your investment will reduce, shared resources will be there, affordable care you can give personalized care, and starting with the small hospitals, especially rented hospital or the lease hospital, after 2 to 3 years, you can generate a very high return on investments, and after that, you scale to a bigger hospital. So, I think my request to all the young generation doctors is to start with the group practices, but most of the time, what is the hurdle is their own ego. But believe me, for that ego, we will lose completely healthcare out of our hands. Already, we have lost almost battle in the healthcare, which was being owned 100% by us. Now, majority been owned by the non-medical owners, but still, patients in healthcare, we have a 70 to 80% patients till date today with us, so we can do magic with the group practices. So start with the small, scale wisely, and group practices are the futures of Indian healthcare. And the main problem is whenever you start group practices in India, entry and exit point should be clear, and your written Samvidhan. I usually use the word Samvidhan for that because India is a diverse country, and that in that diversity also we all run on a single platform with that Samvidhan. So group practice Samvidhan should be written on the day one. It should be clear with the all, and if all doctors have the clear vision and they work on one vision over a period of time, they can do magic. I will quote one example of Seeds Hospital, Surat. Seven gastroenterologists have started their career, maximum 10 to 12 years. They have started their 50 bed hospitals, and now they have a 200 bed, one of the best hospital in the Surat city. So, like that, there are n number of examples in India also. So, if seven super specialists can do such magics, then why not specialist? Because super specialist is a referral branch. Specialist can get the direct patients. So over a period of time we can generate, and yes, I think group practice will be the game changer. And if their group practices are coupled with the innovations, technology and the AI driven, so there will be you will be completely out of competition. Sorry, you can break that competition completely, and that will be the really game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well mentioned. We already spoke about the money segments, that what we should be doing and how it really works and what are the another way of looking at the, number of scaling of the business. However, your last message for the young healthcare entrepreneurs, those who wanted to start today, what strategic mind shift they really require to build the impactful and the scalable healthcare enterprises. So what you would give the a one feedback which will really help them to build up themselves.
In healthcare, only three things we have to understand: a good infrastructure and the good equipments attract the patient, good services retains them, and yes, if you can provide the good outcomes, they will repeat them. Only on these three words, healthcare works. You can generate a trust. But yes, these are three words. But to achieve that three words, you have to do hard work. You have to learn the healthcare business. And again, I will tell one thing: don't go with the single specialty. Start with the multi specialties, group practices, and yes, you have to understand the healthcare business. And in MedSpire's DNA chapter, we are teaching the healthcare business to the doctors free of cost. And yes, if you have some opportunity to work with some healthcare professionals, so you can learn healthcare business from them also. And believe me, whenever a young doctor starts the hospital, rather than focusing on the non-clinical administration, they should focus on the clinical administration more and delegate that clinical administration to some MBAs or the healthcare professionals. Then only that hospitals can be managed properly. Most of the time our ego comes in between, that why should we keep MBAs with us. And yes, that is the major problem with our doctors, that we don't involve the healthcare administrators with us, and because of that we are lagging behind compared to the larger hospitals. So even if the small hospital is there, if you can't afford uh, professionals on daily basis, you can hire them as a consultant basis, SOS basis also, but make them involved with us, start group practices, and believe me, work for your vision, not for the others' vision. Start your own hospitals, not working for the others' hospital. But doctors thinks that for the comfort zone I will get the salary. But yes, there is a risk that they will throw you out of hospitals anytime, and we have a n number of stories around us which have been thrown out of bigger hospitals. So why can't we take that small risk of starting a group practice? Even if we have been thrown out of that group practice, we will have some patient bulk with us. It will not be there with a bigger hospitals. So there is nothing like big and small. Those who think that I should make career with a bigger hospital, yes, they can. But yes, for keeping the Indian healthcare affordable, small hospital has its importance. And yes, young doctors should think of starting and maintaining the small and medium-sized healthcare also, along with the bigger hospitals.
Yes, very well mentioned. There are many more to think talk about when it comes to the young business entrepreneurs. So, however, very importantly, the healthcare entrepreneurs should think beyond the evaluation and the focus outcome. The organization must create the important, meaningful impact, ultimately build the stronger band, as you mentioned. So, we are at the closing of this podcast. However, we will take a couple of questions from the team. So Laurel, she has joined from Philippines and she's saying good evening to everyone. So there is one question from Bonti. She says nowadays most of the hospital deceive civilians are who are not who are not aware about much of knowledge. Okay, they are the lay people to pay the bills which are too much to be bare. So how can this be more service centric than the business centric?
So actually, what you already I have addressed in under the MedSpire, you make the hospitals transparent, billings also transparent, and to make the bills affordable, everyone has to sit together. Doctor only one doctor is the only one part of that healthcare system. He only cannot make the healthcare affordable. So government should think on reducing the medicine prices, equipment prices, and all the ecosystem prices. So by that only we can make the healthcare bills affordable. And by making the transparent systems, just one example I will give, make the ICUs also transparent. So people will understand, yes, what is there been going on with my patient. And yes, whenever we think that we cannot show with during procedures to the relative, that time you can close the curtains. But yes, that transparency improves the trust between the doctor and the patient, and they will never feel that why should I pay this bill to the hospitals.
Yes, absolutely. So, Doctor, there's a one more question. Like when you talk about the small scale businesses or the, the tier two or tier three, have you ever encountered the medical legal cases or any other, area where it has been severely not been followed very well?
Actually, believe me, I have encountered a zero medical legal case till date. One time I have got one notice from my patient, but if your paperwork is complete and if you are doing honest and ethical work in the healthcare, believe me, never you will have to go to the court case. This is only one thing. If you are manipulative, if you are doing something wrong things, if you are not humble enough, you are not communicating properly to the patient, you are not compassionate, you are not building the trust with the patients, then only you will come across this all these court cases and everything. Otherwise, believe me, patient and their relatives will give you the authority to take decisions in their disease treatment. So that trust we have to build, and when trust has been developed, then they will never think or never doubt your line of management or anything. So preventive medical legal things from beginning only, and the trust factor and do the ethical work, you will never encounter any medical legal case.
No,
And even
absolutely.
if it will enter into the court, it will be dismissed. Even if it will enter into the court.
Yes, yes. Because I strongly believe in India, it's very important to understand the medical legal aspects for the patient point of safety also. And there are many more cases which has happened over a period of time. And even having the knowledge about this, not only to the customer, but even to the consumer, even to the doctors, or even to the healthcare entrepreneurs will be a really impactful decision. We are coming to the end, doctor. Thank you so much. Healthcare scaling up is not only about the expanding infrastructure or increasing the revenue, but it is about the building a system that deliver ethical, affordable, technology oriented, and the patient centric care at a scale. The organization that will define the future of healthcare that once are combined with innovations, empathy, operational excellence, and the accessibility, growth with responsibility. Today, we spoke about the healthcare entrepreneurs. The real goal should not simply building a bigger healthcare businesses. However, it should be building a stronger healthcare ecosystem that improve your life with sustainability. Today, once again, I take this opportunity to extend my sincere gratitude to Dr. Shishir Patel for being there with us and helping us to understand. And of course, to the Inspire, we are looking forward to have a more ideas about the ecosystem and understanding the importance of how to start scale, how to smart scale, as well as building our dreams in the healthcare system. Once again, from JV Tech Innovations and the Power of Knowing You Forum with a collaborative approach on this MedTech Insight, we extend a very great thanks to the Dr. Shishir, and thank you to all the participants, and thank you so much, Dr. Prem, for this also. Thank you so much, doctor. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Jyoti, for giving me this opportunity to talk on. And I will close with the one sentence only. In healthcare, reputation compounds faster than the marketing. So work for that reputation. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining us, and stay tuned.